morning, St. Louis. Good morning, everybody.
All
right. Thanks for coming. We are so excited to have you here in the opening of Innovation Hall. It's fantastic. So, Innovation Hall week opening. I saw this area. It's so nice and beautiful, and so I'm so excited to be as a part of Innovation Hall opening. I guess this is our 8th or 9th Creative Morning St. Louis. We have started in February 2019. So who is new in Creative Morning St. Louis? Wow. Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So just a quick introduction about Creative Mornings. Creative Mornings is a lecture series for the creative community. It's free, and then breakfast is provided. This is our first time that actually Innovation Hall supported us, so we didn't deal with breakfast this time. So we just stopped by. So thanks for Innovation Hall for that. It's monthly, every month, and it includes a talk and question and answer on a global theme. So we have about 190 chapters around the world, and each chapter chooses a theme for 1 month. Our Creative Mornings Manifesto, everyone is creative, everyone is welcome, and if you want to read the full manifesto, you can check creativemornings.com/about. So, as I mentioned, about 190 chapters around the world in 66 countries, and about 7 million videos which are uploaded on YouTube and Creative Mornings website. You can check and watch all these videos with these fantastic speakers every month in different chapters. This month theme is Restart. And it is the illustration is made by Mari Myers, and the theme is selected by Cologne chapter in Germany. Thanks for Cologne for choosing Restart. Thanks so much to our global sponsors. Adobe is one of our major global sponsors for Creative Mornings. MailChimp is the second one. And WordPress.com is the third one. WordPress has actually manages 31% of websites in the internet. Actually. Thanks a lot for our local sponsor, Innovation Hall Venture Cafe. I guess Nikki is outside, but we were wondering if she can also provide an introduction about Innovation Hall, maybe after the talk. These fantastic people are our members, Creative Morning members in the headquarters based in New York. And we are Creative Mornings members in St. Louis. And actually, so for this stage, it's just Sam is here among all of these. Hi, Sam. Okay. So we have some awesome feature here. It's called 30-second speech, and anybody who is interested to just tell his or her story or her idea or a news about something in 30 seconds. You are welcome to have that here. Anybody is interested to have a 30-second pitch today? Okay, go ahead. Can you come?
Oh, to the front? Okay.
Sorry for that. Yes.
I thought of one, so I had. I was thinking about how I'm brand new to St. Louis, really just like 3 months, but that we all start new many times in our lives. Really, every day is a gift to start new, so just really thinking through how you can think of each interaction with people as just really reintroduce yourself and talk about a little differently.
other 30-second speech?
I don't do mine.
Yes.
I don't have one officially, but I still think I need to do this just for myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Marilyn Jackson. I work in the hospitality industry, and my vision is to become like Miss Hospitality St. Louis. And I am a part of the Tour Guides Association, but I would like to kind of blend travel and tourism with all of the new innovative ways, for us with the computers and with the social media and so on and so forth. But I don't have a 30-second speech, but now I'm going to officially work on one.
I asked Nikki
Hi
to come.
everyone. Hello. Sorry I didn't prepare anything for this today. My name is Nikki Sidlow. I'm the event manager here at Innovation Hall. And Innovation Hall is powered by Venture Cafe St. Louis. So as you're probably familiar, our signature program is the Thursday Gathering next door, where we connect innovators to make things happen. And this is our 2.0 project. So a big part of Innovation Hall is the Civic Lounge, which some of you were in today. So that lounge space is drop-in public workspace for people to use. Ideally, we want it open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday for entrepreneurs, startups, small businesses, anyone, students, anyone to be able to stop in and just use it. We will have the market, which is run by our catering partner, will open after Thanksgiving, and they run the restaurant on site right now as well. We have free Wi-Fi, and you can ride on the school walls here. And then I will also have conference rooms to sell as well here. So we're really excited to have you all. Thank you so much. It's our opening week, so we're excited to have you.
Okay, so our this month's speaker is Tim Hikes, and Tim is a nationally recognized graphic and UX designer. He's most well known for his project. It's called 28 Days of Black Designers, and he's president of AIGA St. Louis, which actually Creative Mornings was part of St. Louis Design Week last month, in our last month event. And yeah, so thanks Tim for coming, and please go ahead. We do some technical stuff here.
Good morning. This is like early for me doing speaking. I'm used to like 6 p.m., being in the conference all day and speaking, so this is like really early. So I'm working really hard to push the same amount of energy that I normally push at 6 at like 7, 8 a.m. As you said, my name is Tim Hikes. As I started seeing people coming, I was like, oh God, I want to put like a couple slides about me, because I always figure like, oh, St. Louis, people know me. People get tired of hearing me speak here in St. Louis. And I was like, oh no, I haven't seen that many people before, so I guess it's great to put something about me. And then throughout this presentation, I tried to think of some innovative ways to just like tackle this subject. So hope you enjoy. So like I said, good morning. I think of morning, this is what I'm thinking of, but obviously this is what we got. I don't know who prays for this, but whoever prays for them, they need to be my friend, because obviously there's some power in prayer. So a little bit about me. I have 5 brothers, 6 of us together. My mom I swear she was trying for a girl. So all 6 of us, large household, all male, so all we get fight all the time, but we love each other. I'm a member of Kappa Psi National Honorary Band Fraternity, so that happened when I attended Lincoln University, the HBCU in Jefferson City, Missouri, where I graduated with my bachelor's in criminal justice. we'll talk about that later. That's a completely different talk. I sing. So if you ever hand me a mic, I will take the mic and just start blowing. And then I'll act like I'm very shy, like I didn't do that. But that's just part of like who I am. I enjoy it. At work, they get tired of it because I'm always singing. I like to travel and take pictures, and I enjoy going to New York a lot because it's always something to take a picture of. Either the 9/11 monument or different things like that. As I said earlier, I'm a UX designer, and so I enjoy solving complex problems, big and small. I'm normally centered around users and the web. I enjoy people, so you can always find me taking a picture with someone around people. This is actually me being an AIGA. They grabbed a small core of like leaders within the organization and come up and do a couple things. And of course, I do a lot of conference talks, and so I speak at a lot of conferences. And this is actually the Adobe Max conference, where I should have charged them for putting my face up on stage like that, because it's like a huge football field. But yeah, I do that. And I go around to different AIGA chapters, meeting with different people and talking with all the different chapters, and you can always find a picture at me. Every chapter I go, because I always make sure I leave my mark somewhere. And then they also make sure that they leave my mark somewhere. So this is actually a thing where they Photoshop me in different places. So, like you can find like random photos of me on Facebook where someone Photoshopped me. And so I was like, oh, having a great time with Tim here. She's like, okay. So into where I work. So I work at Claire's, and there I work on the Allen Edmonds shoe brand. So yes, I have the luxury of dealing with lots of nice photos and adding them to the web, and basically dealing with like shoes. So this is the range of about $495 shoes, but it's going to go sell $295. And so yeah, I work with these all day, and I work with the users to make it easy for them to use our site there. So we just got finished launching the new Allen Edmonds site, which was a go back, I'm not there yet. This is supposed to play. I don't think it's gonna play. I don't see like supposed to be on that. But there you go. But yeah, we just got finished launching a new site, and it was a lot of work. And bringing someone like me in who has a little bit of knowledge, whenever a new brand like rebrand itself, you always have a dip in customer and dip in sales because it's like, oh, people don't like it. Oh my God, it's horrible. But the good thing about that, normally after a year, sales is through the roof because people rebranded. And so they brought me in to help with that, to facilitate that. And basically, I'm the senior e-com designer. So basically, the experience on the website is up under my wheelhouse, and that's what I work with. I do a lot of design strategy on the users and the products, and how people interact with it, and what's the best use case for them, and making it easy, even down to the mobile applications. So that's what I do all day. Outside of that, like I said earlier, I love to travel, but I'm really interested in this black art, because I want to be jealous, and I like to see other people who look like me doing work better than me, so I was like, okay, so I have to like do something that's better than them. And so I travel a lot looking at black art. This is Soul of the Nation, and like I was really fascinated with the fine art that was there and the type of work that these different artists were doing in this traveling exhibit. And so I do that a lot with a lot of my friends. It's very fascinating to me. And that leads into my project, the 28 Days of Black Designers project, where I'm interested in black designers who design. And so spotlighting them during the month of February and the work that they do in the stores has been very beneficial for the black community, because people now see that in the design industry that there are black designers out there, because most of the time I get stories where they say, oh, I thought I was the only one here in Smallville, Michigan. But no, there's lots of us in lots of different places, and I just curate those stories that we can go and read and see what they're doing. So I'm starting my presentation here, and I'm going to do one thing that I really hate doing, is reading off the screen, so I'm going to read off the screen. No one tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone had told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there's this gap. For the first couple of years, you make stuff. It's just not great. It's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. And a lot of people never get past this phase. they quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through this years of this. And we know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this, and if you are just starting out or you are still in this place, you gotta know this normally. And for the most part, that you have to do a lot of work. And so I like this phrase because it talks about you have to do a lot of work, lots of volumes of work, in order to be good. And so I'm going to come back to this later because a couple things that pointed out here I think is very important to how we manage ourselves and to the idea about refresh. So I have a question for you. How many of you are like tired of doing your work? Make it 2 o'clock and I'm just like going. And then how many of you are tired in the morning? So how many of you like over the weekend, you know, you do a lot of stuff and it just feels like you never got any rest over the weekend. You know, you come in and it's just like, Jesus, Monday morning, it's just like I thought I was gonna get some rest, but I didn't get any rest. Yeah. So most people consider themselves like a hard worker. You know, you did like a lot of, you know, work. And I kind of summed up my own definition to help us, to guide us along. So hard work is a huge difference between hard work and hard working. And so the difference, let me explain my definition. Like, they're not equal in my idea. You can do hard work, but hard working is something completely different. And I think a lot of people get confused with them, and it messes up their psyche and it messes up how they work. So again, my definition, hard work is work that is difficult to complete, time-consuming, tedious, unrewarded, and it robs you of time and balance. I'm talking about hard working. It's the act of working in such a way that requires a very large part of your mental capacity, and the end result is resulting in learning, and it's fun. And so you think about that idea with an individual that, you know, probably majored in design and works in the design field and like love design. So their job is never work, you know, hard work. You know, their job, you know, they're hard working at their job, but they do it naturally because they love their job. So let's dive into some of the ideas behind it. So hard work, you know, people relate that to getting to work early, staying late, sacrificing vacation. I don't know how the hell you do that. And then they think, you know, that's, you know, they're going to receive this huge payoff because they did that. But you were just, you know, a hard worker. So you're tired, you can't think clearly because you're tired, you're irritated and you get mad because no one acknowledges you, and you get past the promotions and everything and you're overworked. And it's all behind this idea that, you know, you were doing hard work. And I think we sell this a lot, especially in corporate America, where people are saying, oh, you know, that person is very hard worker because they got here early and, you know, they stayed very late. And I'm looking at the boss, like if the boss is leaving at 6, I'm leaving at 6. They have to work-life balance, we don't have to work-life balance. So let's just jump further into it. So overall, you're tired. And that becomes a major issue with your body and with yourself. I was talking to a friend earlier this week, I can't remember what day it is, Friday. Earlier this week about being tired, and I kind of summed it up like a house and a parent. So you think about kids playing with toys and they pull them all out, and you need like a complete 8 hours to basically clean up those toys. So pull them all out, and you one day decide it took you 2 hours to clean it up, but it wasn't really cleaned up because you need a complete 8 hours to clean it up. So the next day you do it, and it's more toys on there, and this day you decide to give it like 3 hours to clean it up, but it's never completely cleaned up because it requires 8 hours. So if you continue to do that throughout the week and it stacks up, what happens is you've never had a complete sleep or never got completely clean because you never gave it that 8 hours. That same analogy can be, you know, said in multiple different ways. Say if you're in a restaurant and it takes you at the end of the shift, at the end of the night, cleaning food needs a complete 8 hours. Say if you go over on your shift because you're hard working, and therefore you subtracted the time that the cleaning food needed to clean. So if you get there in the morning, you still have a little bit of mess because they needed a complete 8 hours. Think about that and how taxing that is on your body. And think about adding that and stacking that. And you think about the people that are doing that for years. So it's just that feeling of drowning sensation where you never get out of it. And I always question, like, where does it stop? Where do you stop? When do you draw the line and stop that point of drowning? So I have a quote for you. Work is a pleasure. Life is a story. When work is a pleasure, life is a story. But when work is duty, it's slavery. So with this, I always try to give solutions. And along with my solution, I make sure that I try to read a couple books, not just give solutions off the top of my head. So the solution I'm talking about are behaviors that will allow you to maintain balance or always be in a refreshed state. And the solutions that I'm giving today will help you not only within your work life, but also help you maybe if you want to learn something new or move on to the next subject, the next chapter in life. And so let's dive directly into these. So when you think about refresh, it's giving nutrients and energy or invigorates. The question I always ask, like, where do you start and what are you doing now to create a better life? You know, how can you wake up every morning like feeling refreshed? So in preparation for this, I read a couple books, I talked to a couple people, I read a couple news articles, I looked at some videos online. And through this, some of the ones that I really like, especially because they're creative focused, is the 99U series, so Making Ideas Happen by Scott Gursky. There was Manage Your Day Today, Build Your Routine, Find Your Focus, and Sharpen Your Creative Mind, huge title. I also read Maximize Your Potential, Grow Your Expertise, Take Bold Risks, Build an Incredible Career. I read Make Your Mark, The Creative Guide to Building a Business with Impact. And I'm just bringing you up like the sum of what I got from all these different people that they interviewed, the topics that they talked about. So the first thing, sorry about cursing about this, but get some fucking sleep. There's no way you can do what you do without getting sleep. Sleep is very important. Like I said earlier, you know, you end up just small things that you would think about or recognize. You're not even on that level because you don't have enough sleep. The next very important thing is going to be building that routine. And then earlier I talked about, I showed you the quote. And so I'm going to show you what the very important part that I pulled out of this large quote here by Glass. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you finish one piece. The single most important change you can make in your work habit is to switch to creative work first, reaction work second. This means blocking off large chunks of time every day for creative work. It's basically your own work, your own priorities. And make sure that you turn off your phone and email because they distract you. So you need to give yourself your best time. As an individual, you need to give yourself your best time. So what does this look like? At 5 a.m., possibly, never for me, the alarm goes off, you wake up. You wake up and think, brush your teeth and everything, and you prepare to go to the gym. At 5:30, you're at the gym and you're exercising and everything, you're able to clean up and leave, and you make it back home by 6:30. Between 6:30 and 8:30, that's 2 hours. You're giving yourself your best time. So you're working between 6:30 and 8:30. You're refreshed, you're the brightest at that time, and you just woke up. So like you're feeling great, and you're giving yourself, you're investing your best time in yourself instead of in your employer. So therefore, anything new that you wanted to learn, anything new that you wanted to do, or any work that you wanted to do is given to you. So then after that, you go work, and you're doing work, they now have that secondary work. And then we also think about what I said, do your creative work first, reactionary work second. So we're not answering emails, we're not taking phone calls, we're doing the work that we want to do. And most people who are very successful, this is the hacks that I read in the book. Writers are doing their best work, blocking off time, and using their most effective energy that they have. And same thing with a lot of creatives. They're using their freshest energy at the very start of the day. They're blocking off that time and using that time to focus on themselves. So how does this look fully? After that, you leave, you go to work, you work from 9 to 5, and then you're able to get home and start to grind down and do it all again the next day. Now you think about doing that for a year. After a year, you should have like gobster projects. Earlier I showed you about giving yourself a deadline for a project every week. So now you have 52 different projects that you've done, good or bad, and you've given it all your best work. And then you wonder why, this person is up for the vice presidentship, or this person is over here, still fighting to be the hard worker. So save your best time for yourself. That's very important, very crucial. The next thing I want to talk about is book time on your calendar for uninterrupted, focused work, and respect those blocks of time as you would any client. That's very important, that you respect those blocks of time, because sometimes we allow other things to come into it. Even at work, I have to put time on my calendar for work where I won't be interrupted, because we like to meet about meetings before the meeting and after the meeting. And we do that a lot. So a lot of my day is like meetings about a meeting that we're going to happen, and after that we're talking about the meeting we just had. It's just like Jesus. But learning to block off that time for yourself, it stop individuals from doing that. Then they have to come look at, okay, so Tim has, this time booked, so I guess I have to get later to blocking him. And most of the time I'm blocking off early in the morning when I get to work, so I can do my creative time then. So then after lunch, I'm normally doing most reactionary work, and I'm doing meetings and stuff like that. Because at that time, then it's easy for me to move around, because I got work that I need to do done. So you have to make progress visible. And I'm saying this because a lot of people do things and you don't visually like make out a counter or anything or show where you made progress. It feels like you're not doing anything. And so making progress is a huge motivator for a long-term project. It makes your daily achievements visible by saving interactions. You can post milestones, you can keep a daily journal. But it's most importantly that you do things in a visible way to give your mind an indicator that you've done this. So if you think about the progress that you've done 52, and you start on the next year to do another 52, it feels good to look back and know that I did 52 things for myself. And I took this time out of my day, I took these different times out of my day, created within the week, finished it, and then you can see how much you finished. Then you can talk about being a very productive individual. Because a lot of us want to be productive, but we always complain about not having enough time, or complain about being too tired to do it. The next quote I have, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And most of us are superhuman, and we try to do everything, and it wears us out. And one thing about me is, like, I'm very passionate. I have a couple of my friends say I'm black-hearted, but then a couple of them say I have heart of gold. The heart of gold, when I have it, me being just so kind and so caring, and like giving so much to people and trying to do everything, it wears me out. And it leaves me at a certain point in the year asking, like, I've given everything I have to everybody else, so who's giving something to me? Who's the support that I can lean on and talk to? Now, so I've leaned every ear that I got, every piece of my body, everywhere else. And with the stuff that I do, like, it can seem like a lot. With AIGA, both locally and nationally, doing all these speaking engagements. I also run Design Plus Diversity Conference here in St. Louis. That alone is a lot, and it can drain a person. So you can do anything, but you just can't do everything. Okay? And then finally, the last thought, and relates back to today's theme, is sometimes you have to hit the reset button. And in the different books I read, they talked about it this way. Make it a ritual of unplugging on a regular basis. Turning everything off is like hitting the reset button, and it gives your mind a fresh start. The idea of hitting the reset button is when you take everything away, and those thoughts that you have that's roaming, you're allowing that to happen, and that's a creative process in your mind. We have so much stuff around us that our mind is aware of, that we don't notice is aware of, and it distracts us. And so when you hit that reset button, when you break away, now you're allowing you to deal with the things that you're thinking about, the things that you worry about. And that allows you to become a stronger person, and that also allows you to become a more creative person. Now, if you're having thoughts about doing creative things, imagine you gave yourself a little reset time every day just to write these things down as they come. And say if you do it right before bed, so now you're dreaming about creative things, you're getting up to write these things down as they come. Say if you have a book of that over a year, that's the music like, and now let's say like you have like a diary of that over a year, and you're a creative, architecture, design, fashion, a manager who manages creative, a vice president manages creative. You have a list of ideas to pull from that are your ideas that you created. And all you did was gave yourself a little reset time and just wrote stuff down as they came to you. Like, I do that a lot. I literally do that a lot when stuff hits me. I'm like, oh my God, it's like piece of candy. Write it down. And it really hurts. It really helps you in the long run. So when I'm thinking about the subject of refresh, these are the different things that I have come to collect today to talk about. And I think if you focus on some of these, even just a few of them in your life, it would allow you to be more successful. It allow you to be more energized, especially using sleep, and allow you to do the things that you want to do. Because ultimately, we have one life. For most of those that want to be out there, we have one life in this body, because I have some friends who are out there. The universe is doing this. And you should really respect it, and you should really respect your ideas and give yourself that opportunity to be the best that you can be. So I want to thank you for listening, and I do want to open up for just some discussion and some questions, because I know people probably have some things they want to talk about. Any questions?
So we go for questions and answers.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you say unplug, which of course makes me a little nervous, you know, to shut off and unplug, how much are you saying shut off and unplug? What is your vision of that? Like, no electronics, or just sitting there with a piece of paper and a pen? Okay.
I would even go as far as getting away from it all. You could like, have you ever just went to the park and just sat? I've done that sometimes. Just went to Forest Park and sat on Art Field. You know, just enjoy the sun. Just break from your brain, because light basically sends messages to your brain. You know, and as we know, certain lights and certain lumens of light, you know, it affects you in certain ways. Which is why yellow light is good for when you're about to fall asleep versus having, you know, bright blue lights which will keep you awake. It does mess with the chemicals within your body. And so yes, I do suggest like get away, break it off, give yourself time to be away from it. I've had some arguments with some friends who's like, oh, I could never do that because what if someone calls? They'll leave a message. What if somebody needs you? It's like, it's just someone that needs you that bad, especially if you just put in your phone, you can't trust yourself to turn your phone off, but you want to put it, you know, on silent or do not deserve. That do not deserve, they call you 2 times in a row, it's going to come through and ring. So it's very important that it come through. But you owe it to yourself to give yourself that time. You really owe it to yourself. Yes.
Can we get a copy of that slide?
Oh,
That's the presentation itself. It's a lot of information there, especially on the books.
yes.
So I'd like to get a copy so I can make sure I follow up.
So I think we have the copy. We can send it, if you are fine, we can send it to our guests. You have the email list?
If you come see me, I'll make sure I have your.
Yeah, if you are registered,
Okay.
that was actually my question.